Well, good morning, good evening, um, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SKTV. Welcome to today's edition. Welcome to the show. We'd like to invite all of you, welcome all of you to this edition. Please, as you come on, please share the show. When and if you share the show, then I would be able to share it as well. Remember, we're now on Facebook. I'm not, so I'm unable to share the show. Please, as you are joining us, let us know where you are joining us from. Share the show. Lots of things to talk about. As you can see, the headline or the title for today: Elections have consequences. Yes, elections have consequences. Let's talk about elections having consequences as we prepare for what's at hand, what's at head, and what is expected to happen at some point. Elections have consequences, whether after the elections, before the elections, or during the elections. The choices you make would reflect or would give you the consequences or the outcome that you expect, you don't expect, or however you want to term it as. But in the meantime, please let's share the show. As you come on, please share the show. Let us know where you're watching us from. Okay. Aliyu Emma Sayon watching us from Verjama. My man, you in Verjama? What's going on in Verjama today, my man? Keep me posted, my man. How the people there? What people? How's Verjama? How is everything going? Please share the show as you are joining us. Share the show. Echo Fue. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. Please don't get mad at me if I butcher your name, please. A country boy who don't know how to pronounce, so I beg you. But let's share the show, guys. As you share the show, then I would be able to share the show. You're following us from Grand Paso County. Wow, it's amazing. It's wonderful how people from all the way back home are the ones joining us early on this show today, on this edition. Let's share the show. Please share the show. Yeah, Vanderma is calm. My man, I feel that eating real. You talk about Vanderma and I say I want to eat real tobo soje. Real tobo soje. I'm talking about our original tobo soje. I'm not talking about the mixed tobo soje that we got around here. I'm talking about the real tobo soje. Yeah. You know how it can be. You know how it can be. It got all the soda, everything inside correct. You know, Mulba, Mulba Collie. Good afternoon from my end. My man, Mulba Collie, where's your end? You need to let us know, please. We need to know where you are joining us from, please. Don't be afraid. Nobody will come look for you. Just tell where you joining us from. You know, we just want to know that all. We're not sending your information to anybody to look for you, Papa. Let us know where you joining us from. But you can tell where you joining us from. Hey, Steve, how are you? I was waiting for you to come on. Yeah, you're waiting for me to come on. You're not telling where you joining us from. What's going on? Tell where you joining us from, please. We want to know. We're not asking for your host address. We're just asking for where you joining us from. That's all. Please let us know. And please share the show. If you come on here and not share the show, we'll plug you and not see the show. Share the show. Elections have consequences. That is a fact. Okay, you've joined us from North Virginia. Oh wow. I know a cool order. The corner is it there. Dagondi. Yeah, I took a sabbatical from Facebook, Mama, but in my writing, I did say I would be on the show. You know, I didn't take it from the show, to be in all fairness. I did not. I only took it from Facebook. Let's see. I'm watching you, Voice of Lawala studio based in the United States of America. Tanu Chief, my man, you calling Lawala Zoo, my man, you took me way back here. Hey, go. Thank you for following us, Tanu. Thank you so much. I think I have ran into your show before. I've ran into it on Facebook. I think so. Sekou will be joining us momentarily, but let's share the show. Those of you who haven't recognized, I will. I'm not going to get in trouble or be held in contempt. That's not going to happen. I will recognize you. I don't want to put myself in a situation I can't handle, so I will recognize you. When you join us, let us know where you're joining us from. Yvonne, windy today. Yes. You all the way in North Virginia in itself that cold. And you all the way in the north. It's like you just decided. My man, President Mo, what they own up Grand Bongo, my man. They bongo, yeah, they bongo, yeah, they bongo. They like, I will visit the bongo, they bongo, I do visit the bongo. They own Grand Bongo. Oh, they got with the own Grand Bongo, Benny. My man, what's up with the own Grand Bongo, bro? What's going on? What's going on with that own Grand Bongo? I want to visit that bongo. What they can be on that bongo, that own Grand Bongo, what's going on there? Joining you guys from a Propo corner in Lofa, where I'm currently vacationing. My man, you vacationing in Lofa for you to tell me all the what kind of tobacco you eating, or the dry meat that we ate, then that's something you gotta be making it a top secret. Come on, brother. Tell what's going on in that whole Lofa there. I want to know what's going on. If somebody was from Nima County right now, watching from Nima County, I will be asking them about the GB, Grand Basso. I know my brother from Grand Basso watching us. I know that brother or sister, they had to determine whether that woman or that man. Sorry if I call you man and you're a woman. Sorry if I call you woman and you're a man. I'm very sorry. But this person from Grand Basso, what's going on? Any two more business going on in Besson? Okay, Paco, hello. Patricia, where you following on from, Mama? Let us know, please. We want to know where you following on from. We are waiting to hear what has been happening in our beautiful country, Liberia. Praise man. Tell where you watching from. Before we tell you what's going on in your beautiful country, Liberia. You not tell where you watching from. Tell all that one will beg you. Tell her now. We'll beg you. Don't keep it a top secret. Just tell her. Just small things said, just tell her. We're not telling nobody where you from, where you watching from. We're watching from the top steps of the IRS. Came to check on my tax return. My sister Devontae. Oh, you watching Prince Man? You watching from Minnesota? Okay. Yeah, you guys are. I think a week or two ago, the people from Minnesota had a big old storm or whatever not that was going on. Very interesting, Very, very interesting. Oh, Patricia Cool watching from Lansdowne, PA. Oh, Rita, what you watching? Yeah, I've been to Lansdowne. Very, very peaceful. Natural green, nice looking. I like the view in Lansdowne. It's very, very peaceful, very calm. Very, nice breeze. I've been to Lansdowne, PA. Very, very, very nice place to be, though. Very nice place to be. I was very impressed the very first time I went there. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly where you were talking about, and it's a good place to be. Patricia, you're expecting more snow? Are you kidding me? Jackson, Nakanye, C. Patrick's, your Port Harcourt, Rhode Island. Yeah, my man, Rhode Island, a small stable, Rhode Island, powerful. I respect Rhode Island. My respect to you. I tell our people over there, we say hello. We yell. Just tell them say we yell. We say hello. And a lot of things to cover today. Lots of things to cover, guys. Share the show. Sekou is getting ready to join us in the back end. We'll be opening the lines so that we can have this conversation. Again, national conversation. Matilda is watching us from Bowie, Maryland. Okay, that's good. Bowie, Maryland. That's very, 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 very good. Good place to be. Bowie, Maryland. Nata Takina, hello. You say hello to the SKTV family. Hello, Nata Takina. What's going on? Where you watching us from, Nata Takina? Are you who can be watching from the PP city there, the place that I get money for you to talk a problem. So where you watching us from here? Nata Takina. Where are you watching us from, Mama? Tell us. Aliu, we are only worried about our road from Zozo to Fuentema. If the government not do anything about it, Lofa will be cutting off from the capital city. I agree with you, my man. The government has to do something about it. That's why we're discussing the consequences of elections, because elections have consequences. And that's why we need to discuss some of these things so that as people are making up their minds to vote, they can know where they're voting from. Okay. Aku, Ali Aisha Donzo. Ali Aisha Donzo, where are you watching us from? Please let us know. Aku is watching us from Australia. Adelaide, South Australia. Okay, that's good. Rhonda Thomas, every day, lots of things to cover. Yeah, lots of things to cover every day, my man. Where are you watching us from, Rhonda Thomas? Rhonda Thomas, where are you watching us from? Oh, you what? Nyata, you watching us from California? Tuma Arrest? Okay, well, me, I don't know about that one, so I'm putting myself in situation again, you know. Yeah, and I getting into that other conversation. You won't put a situation again, you know, and I here for that one. But let's see. Joseph Conto, thank you for returning. Harding or General. My man, where you watching from? Joseph Conto. What in that? Okay, Ali Asha Donzo watching from New York. Thank you. Prince is watching us from North Dakota. Probably very cold in North Dakota this time of the year. Siku will be joining us momentarily, but let's recognize you. We'll take the next few minutes here to recognize you quickly before we get into the musical break, share the show, and then we'll get straight into the discussion. So get ready to do. We'll get you other news quick, really quick. We'll get you other news. We will. Papa Dakor, I'm watching you live from Cummins 3% community. My man, be serious, man. Tell where you watching us from. I don't know you man or you woman. You got Papa Dakor, you know, on your name. Just be serious and tell where you watching us from. Thank you, Chief. Let's be serious. Sometimes we can joke, but let's be serious about some things. Let me see. Yeah, Cyrus, what's up, my man? What's going on, my picking? I hope everything's super at the time. What you get for all the jet pass your budget? We will not get money that all year, and the jet pass your budget, so you need to let know what's going on. They pass your budget. Yeah, they pass your budget. We know. We're not stupid here. We know they pass your budget. So you need to tell what's going on. Who is there? Theophilus, Michigan. Okay, Theophilus, thank you so much. Will Sekou, my critical analyst, be on the show today? Yes, Sekou is expected to be on the show today. Well, Love Hopkins, what's up, cuz? Welcome. She says she's from the first state. We don't know what the first state is. We don't know America. We know the location and let us know where you ill. Sata T. Thompson, watching us from Houston. Okay, Houston, Texas. Yeah, Houston, Texas, always getting floods and other things. You know, Houston, Texas, always getting floods. You know, thank God we haven't heard anything negative from Houston, Texas this year as of yet. We pray that it stays that way. We definitely need to stay that way. Cyrus is watching us from Houston, Texas. Okay, who's that? Awagi. You're watching us from Greece. Okay, that's very good. Watching us from Greece. Seriously, Steve, you just bashing my city like that? No, I'm bashing the city. I just saying the first state where the president from. Who the president now? Who the favorite president Obama from? Obama. I don't know who your favorite president. Joe, we are from Miami, so we don't know. Let us know where your favorite president. All that extra stuff is. We want to know your president. We want to know though. We seriously want to know which state and so forth. But let's get into. Please, let us know where you're watching us from or where you're following us from. Okay, Joseph Conto, my man, you in Delaware? My man, the next time I run the East Coast, I will call you so I will call you anywhere. I'm not on Facebook, but on Messenger. I'll call you so we can bother in person. The Joseph Conto man, I'll be getting a hard time. So you can bother me on Woolen and see what's the other man with Jeremiah Zell Wapo is the next president. Excuse me, Mr. Jeremiah Zell Wapo. Excuse me, Mr. Jeremiah Zell Wapo. Can you please let us know where you're watching us from? I know Jeremiah Zell Wapo is not a country. Somebody says City of Brotherly Love. Abel is watching us from the City of Brotherly Love. That's Philly. Philly is one of my cities. Even though I didn't support the Eagles, I wanted for them to be flogged, and they were flogged. So that's good. Oh, Sting Bonge Tango, I'm free. Oh yeah, Sting Bonge, where you watching us from? Where you watching us from? My man, I'm not talking about your vote penny, but I beg you, but tell all where you watching us from. Forget about your voting and what thing happening. Tell where you watching us from without all that food. Oh, Columbus, Ohio, and I won't want to talk about vote gap. Sonny, who they call food? Who they call vote? The last time I tell your vote, Sonny, don't bring that vote. If I bring us behind you again, you ready again? You format to it, hard to give up. You ready again? Okay. Oh, watching you from Missouri, Alexander. Man, kudo have you on. Kudo have you on is very, very good. It's a good thing to have you on. Elections have consequences. Watching us from President Bole, state of Arizona. Sting Bonge, so you in Arizona, eh? Yeah. You in Arizona, you can be getting me hotter, eh? Okay. All right. I see how you looking now. Okay. Go there. I see how you looking. Go there. You in Arizona, you can be getting me hotter. Hey, Lord. Hey, Lord. I can be saying a couple of people to look for which part of Arizona you have to locate you. Fenton J. Hawks watching us from Des Moines, Iowa. Fenton, welcome to the show. Welcome this afternoon to you. Welcome to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. To this conversation, elections have consequences. Yes, elections have consequences. We will be getting up here. Please let us know where you're watching us from. Somebody's watching us from where? Vallejo. Sekou Dukla is watching us from Vallejo, California. Okay, that's good. That's very, 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 very good. So Sekou will be joining us momentarily. But let's get to other news really quick. In other news, there are a lot of things going on around the world. We don't want to restrict it to the world. For example, in other news, for those of you who take it personal, in other news, let me report something to you. I think that's worth talking about or thinking about. This was carried by international media, all parts of the world. Oh, Mr. Khan is here. Mr. Khan, what's up? What's going on?
I'm doing good.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the show. We said that you
Nigeria,
joining us from. We said that you joining us from.
Glendale.
You joining from Glendale where? Because they got Glendale in California. So you're in California.
Glendale, Arizona.
But I thought you moved to California.
No. Me in California, we can pull.
What Sekou yeah, my people. You been asking for Sekou. Let's Sekou yeah. Let's Sekou yeah. You say I say Sekou coming. Sekou not coming. Let's Sekou yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah. Still wake me up from sleep. Then maybe I'm not sleep. I had to come on the show.
Yes, I told him man today by 5 by 4 he can't sleep. I just bugging your phone. I just calling him back to back. You know how when people calling from Labrador back to back.
I don't know if my internet still good, sir.
It is good, but it was a little shaky in the beginning. But it is good. You're looking sharp as always and super. Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Somebody's watching.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to SKTV once again. You already know me. My name is Sekou Kene. And my colleague here, he got two names, Moses and Steve Boley. I think it's Steve Boley now because he's made now on Facebook this few days. So he made Steve Boley right now. But yes, I want to encourage all of you to share the show. It's very important. You know, we can't afford to miss days without coming on the show because this is election season. People want to know everything. People want to know what's going on in Liberia, what's going on, in our political system, what is going on with our political leaders, our president, the current government, the government in waiting, everybody else. We want to know exactly what's going on with them. But since the topic today is about elections have consequences, something that we agree, but that is just one line, but that is a very loaded comment. It's a very loaded statement. We will dive into the conversation, Steve. I'm here and ready to go.
Mr. Kane, just before we start the show, something was brought to my attention that I don't want to say I downplayed. But when you remove somebody from on an account, there were a couple of people that were restricted from commenting back then until you did the changes that was done these few days. When you did an update, a couple of them, and one of them currently we're going back and forth, is saying to me that they're finally, they're able to see the show, they don't have that restriction, they can see the show, they can comment, they can do this, but then they black out. They're not seeing comments from other people. So, and I know before the show, we had a technical problem where the show had to log out really quick for some things to be said in the back because someone attempted while I was getting on the show to go into your account again. I'm not sure if there's anything you can do from the back end there while we are.
Let me help. If you are watching us from SKTV Live, you are not going to see the comments from people that are commenting on SKTV.
Oh.
If you are watching us on SKTV, you're not going to see the comments from people watching us on SKTV Live. If you are watching us on YouTube, you will only see people commenting on YouTube. We that are on the set here, we see the comment from everybody.
Okay, I see.
So people who are watching, when they're watching all from SKTV Live, and majority of the people are on SKTV as opposed to being on SKTV Live. So if you want to see, if you really care about the comments, then just go to SKTV, not SKTV
Okay.
Live. If you're on SKTV Live, you only see the people that are on there. You're not going to see them.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Why,
that makes sense.
Right now, let's see. Let me see here. If I can see SKTV. Okay, now it seems like only about 13 or 15 people on SKTV Live. Right now, maybe 17 people on SKTV Live right now. We have over 400 people on SKTV. So I think moving forward, because people are getting accustomed to the SKTV Live, other than that, we just leave SKTV Live for now and just do SKTV. But people are watching on from both ends. You don't
don't keep it at that.
Yeah, you don't want to alienate anybody.
Yes, I'm getting the feedback now on that. You're 100% right. Some people are writing me and say, yes, that's true. That what the comments you're making, they realize that they're on SKTV Live now, but somebody else is saying they're still banned from SKTV from commenting, but I will send you the information.
No, just send me the information. I will see what's going on with that. We're not buying anybody.
Yes.
We're not taking you for safekeeping. You're not seeing us, or you come here, you do whatever you want to say. But we never block anybody from commenting.
Yes, that's really shocking to me as well.
That's very strange. So we can take care of it. If you send me the name, I will check it out.
Okay, let me.
But people need to share the video though. People are not sharing.
Yeah, I send it to you right now.
Yeah, running that mob, but they don't let to share the show. I can't start calling someone here and say people that can't share the show. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I come in sending it. But Mr. Kenneth, let's get to somebody said what is scheduled for the show: Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Those are the schedules. Unless there is some kind of emergency going on, then we can have random show or emergency show, whatever not. But again, that's just it. Those are the days that we are normally scheduled to come on. But let's really get, while you're sharing the show, let's get to other news really quick before we get to the musical break to share the show. And then once we come out from the musical break, we'll get straight into the Liberian politics. Word news, those of you that are getting pissed off, sometimes when we talk about the importance of coordinating a president or a presidential candidate or people that serve at the highest level in government, whether it's president or vice president, letting the nation, letting the people know, it's common practice, is the right thing to do. For example, on March 4th, you can check any news outlet in a word. Al Jazeera, BBC, all of them carry it. President Joe Biden, look at the headlines where it says, U.S. President Joe Biden had a cancerous skin lesion removed successfully. So when we talk about presidential candidates or presidential hopeful, we talk about their health. They're not anything. We're not causing trouble. We're not disrespectful. We're not bringing the conversation down. In fact, we are elevating the conversation because they're public officials. We must know about their health. They didn't even start there. And the party were in charge of this. It was not the what do you call them party. It was not the Democratic Party that issued this. This is what his doctors said. Joe Biden's doctor has given the 80-year-old a clean bill of health after all cancerous tissue was successfully removed. So my people, y'all start getting vexed when we say Joseph Boakai not all right. Y'all start getting vexed. That's not disrespect. That's not cause. That the truth of the matter, we can discuss it. Nothing wrong with it. We're not wishing anybody bad. So please let us learn from that. And if you don't believe it, you can write the White House. Joe Biden's doctor name is Kevin O'Connor. That's the person in charge. Listen to what Kevin O'Connor wrote. Kevin O'Connor, White House doctor who served as Joe Biden's long-term physician, said all cancerous tissue was successfully removed. No further treatment is required, he said in a report. My people that bad thing, this is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. When the person is sick, we must say he's sick. When the person have a procedure, let a doctor come and talk about it. It can be a political party thing where the party got to lie, you got to be lying, you got to be. It's not top secret thing. So I'm begging you, my people, as we are discussing elections having consequences, when these issues come up, let's include it into the discussion because they're part of the consequences that we face. So as just to bring you up to speed on that, I just want to make sure you can go Google the article and read it. You know, because of time, we wouldn't go through the details here. But these things are expected. We're all humans. People get sick, you know. So when another sickness news come up and we'll talk about it, don't say we hate anybody. Please don't say that. We just need to do what we need to do. As part of the other news again, Nigeria decided that they will elect an older gentleman who was close to the party that was in charge. And that was a decision they've made. The consequences would come after that. And we are following to update you as we talk about the consequences of election. Talks between Cyril Lavrov, who's from the Putin camp, and also the Secretary of State here, didn't go well. They had a conversation. They met, diplomatic conversation. Cyril Lavrov is the diplomat representing, you know, the Putin camp. And our own diplomat from the United States met with him, the Secretary of State. Guess what? The conversation didn't go well. They didn't come to any agreement. Things broke down. They had to leave it where it was. They will go reconvene and come back again, have a conversation. These are things that are happening around the world. And you need to know about them. We need to know about it. And as we get into the labyrinth conversation, some of these things we'll see parallel. We'll see that there are some similarities. We'll see that these are things that we need to talk about. We can't make these things top secret. So, you know, and as part of, you know, the other news, which we'll get into in a little bit here in Liberia, the Liberian people can confuse me, Mr. Kane. Joseph Boakai formed a group in Nima County. That group went in Dosco Mills. What's going on? When I under that, the police director said they want to see Gloria Mususka. Gloria Mususka, who understands the law, former Supreme Court justice. She understands the law. They might threaten her again with going to the court to force her to come. That's something that she's going to go there willingly. I don't support the CDC-led government, but we want tussle with tussle. Let's do what is right if we want to hold them accountable. But not only that, on the other hand, Mr. Kane, I'm very shocked in other news. I saw pure hypocrisy, people using serious things that are supposed to, serious tools that are supposed to be used to hold government accountable and do what is right for politics. I didn't know they had women solidarity group in existence. I had no clue that this group was existing. Where was this group when Gifted Lamar? What was this group? What was this women solidarity group? What was this women solidarity group when those 3 boys got missing? Where was this women solidarity group? Princess Copper most recently. Where was this women solidarity group? Where? I don't understand. But again, these are other news. We'll get into the conversation today that election have consequences. Please don't you dare change the dial because the show, when you see Mr. Kenneth smiling at it, the show looking like we know it today. Some people getting their feelings, but we got to discuss what concerns Liberia, my people. We want a betterment for this country, so we got to make sure everybody can go. Mr. Kenneth, I don't know if you have anything to add in other news before we get to the musical break.
I'll wait for the real show.
Yes, then we'll get into it. You know,
yeah.
We want to get to the musical break. Share the show, guys. We're going for the break. When you share the show, we'll come back.
Yeah, I think we all need to share the show.
When you share the show, we'll come back. We'll just take call. We'll go. Me and Sekou, we're not talk. We'll just take call for it. We'll just listen to your talk. We're not saying fine.
But by the way, Joseph Konto sent $20 to SKTV through the Cash App. Okay. So those of you who are watching, if you wish to contribute, that number up there is both Cash App and Zelle. So if you wish to contribute to SKTV, feel free to do so. If you don't want your name to be announced, just add that to the comment that you want to remain anonymous, then we'll not call your name. If not, we will come and announce it and tell the people that you have contributed to SKTV, and we'll tell you thank you. So yes, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I send you the name of the person to please to comment. I send it to your Facebook. Thank you so much. But like I said, guys, we'll be back. We want to get quick. You know, before supposed to get in there, let's get to enjoyment. The music will have no copyright to the music. Let's enjoy what's said. You know, the LeBron politics thing is.
Send me a message on Facebook, man.
Okay.
Send me a message on regular message. But it's okay. I've seen this one, but I can't be looking there when I'm on the show. I don't like to be checking.
Okay, no problem.
What's the person's name now? I can't see.
I send it to you on when you see one of the messages there. Right on it.
Steam. Okay, let me see.
Okay.
Let me get myself off here. Let me see if I can help that person.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you. So,
but guys, let the person try to comment.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let the person try to comment there. I will see if it doesn't go through. I will find out.
Okay, most definitely. Well, let's get to the musical break. We have no copyright to this song, and we own no copyright to this song. Share the show, guys. We'll be right back. Don't leave. Don't you dare change the dial. We'll be right back.
You don't even know my story. You don't even know your story, oh yeah. Oh yeah, you know on the beat, I be a loca. So moral. You post your new car on Facebook. But that's so la la. You working better. Loving and acting jealous, say you photo. My advice for you in my way I got to confess. Confession. You gotta confess. You must have the impression. Enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, no more stressing. Enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, no more stressing.
It's never gonna be another man trash, just another man treasure. Another man fool was another man poison. Got your good, according to your measurement. Got your good, according to your measurement. The player ain't garish, and they play you for it. Just because of impression, impression, fake impression, impression, yeah. You don't even know my story, or you want to share my glory, oh yeah. Everywhere you my way, oh way, oh. Everywhere you my way, oh way, oh. Even touch you my way, oh way, oh.
Enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, no more stressing. Enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, no more stressing. Yeah. The hammer you driving nothing into keke. This a ballin'. right here. Stop spoiling my me. I'm living my life, oh. See, I'm living my life, oh. If you pay you, hey, oh, hey, oh. If you hold you, hey, oh, hey, oh. If you hate you, hey, oh, hey, oh. If you pay you, hey, oh. You don't even know my story. Enjoyment.
I beg you, yeah. That's more dancing. Say we do it bien there. But let's say we man know how to dance to. They man no music. Seku band dancing in the back. Well, folks, welcome back to today's edition. Seku was dancing in the back. I forgot I said to turn the thing off so we can start the show because I was enjoying Seku dance move. I didn't know Seku can dance. Oh, Seku was really partying in the back. Anyways, quick announcement. Those of you who have been blocked from SKTV as of today, those who were blocked as of today, your block has been lifted. Let me put it that way. Please, as you come on, please coordinate yourself and behave yourself. Stick with the issues. Please don't attack our guests. Don't disrespect our rules here. Stick with the rules. We'll be fine. Please, we're begging you. So just so you know, you're no longer blocked. You're welcome to follow the show. Comment. Welcome back. Everybody's happy. We'll get directly into the show. As we know, elections have consequences. Sometimes, like Seku said, we play with these words. Elections have consequences. But yes, elections have consequences. And this is a truth statement. This is a true statement. Elections have consequences. And so it's important for us to be careful as to who we elect, why we elect, and when we elect them, because they will impact your life directly or indirectly, whether you like it or not. Let me give you a few examples here. One of the very first time I realized that elections have consequences was when, and the consequences necessarily, they're not restricted to bad always, or disappointments, or bad governance, or ineptitude, criminality, or so forth. No. Let's just be honest. The word consequence in itself, or consequences in itself, basically, it means there are results. There are things that you get when you make decisions, and you don't figure the consequences all out unless the decisions are made, or those decisions are made. And so the consequences are there, but it depends on which side the aisle you are, or where you've selected, and so forth. So I gave you an example. When Obama was elected, we had some negative consequences and some positive consequences. For those who are Christians and others who are believers, and those who don't believe in gay rights, the legalization of same-sex marriage or whatever not, when it came to that part of life of the election of President Obama, because under his administration, it was legalized through the Supreme Courts. That was the consequence they had from the religious consecutive, would say to some extent, point. Those are some of the consequences they had. From a business standpoint, from a rescue standpoint, we went through recession under Obama, but yes, the economy came back, bounced back under the same Obama's era based on decisions that were made or so forth. And from a Black perspective, from an African American, from an African perspective, from a minority perspective, some people are happy that finally, maybe parts of the speeches that Martin Luther King made finally came to pass in their times. To see a black man becoming president, history was made. So these are all the consequences that fell in place at some time. These are some of the consequences that fell in place at some time. And whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, elections have consequences. And you must understand what you are getting into, because you can make temporary decisions with long-term impact at that point. For example, somebody can eat my future and buy me one bag of rice, give me $10, $20, and I vote you in. But on that $20, you are going to make millions, enrich yourself, enrich other people, your family members, and so forth. And I suffer. That $20 temporarily that I'm getting, yes, it will be a relief for 1 or 2 days or for a week. My part will ball.
So just not to cut you off.
Please go ahead.
We had about almost 80 people that were banned from the platform. 79 of them, I released all of them. We just advise everybody to govern yourself accordingly. It's not a wish to take anybody off, to be honest. We want everybody to be on here. But we don't want other people to be uncomfortable by your person. You come here, you behave like a decent human being, we can be friends. The one person that I did not unbind is the person, that one is a fake account that we know is a fake account. It's not a real human being. And people can hide behind pseudonym to come in, attack other people, especially we don't know. So everybody is free, including your friend that was complaining all over the place, Mr. What is his name? The guy, Augusto Papi Flomo. It's also, everybody is free. Everybody can come on the show, on the platform, and say whatever they want to say. So I want to say thank you to you. And we had this discussion sometime last week that we should allow everybody to come back home.
Yep.
I'm glad that we have done it today. And one person or two people that I believe that may go back to to Facebook prison when it comes to SKTV, two people that I know, they will come back, they will misbehave. Bobby Benito and that guy from France. Wait, I forgot his name. One guy from France. Frank something. Right, he said. Frank Gibson. Yeah, Frank Gibson. Frank Gibson, everybody free right now to come. But if they come back here and behave the same way, then they will be banned permanently from SKTV. So you can go ahead, with the show.
So like I was saying, elections have consequences. When you decide to make... So one of the way I thought about this, and maybe Sekou can chime in on one of the way I thought about this to make it relative a little bit to us. As parents, whether male or woman, especially the women, the issue of having a child, sometimes it can be a conscious decision, sometimes not, based on the circumstances. But I thought about it in a way that when you have a child, your life will change, whether you like it or not. Your life will change. Something about you will change. Whether you want it to change or not, it will change. That particular decision or choice would affect or impact your life. So the same thing with elections. When you pick wrong leaders on the name of popularity, or they know them, or I'm associated with them, or I'm connected to them or with them, it impacts the entire country. It impacts the next generation. It affects everything and anything. And so that's where we are today. In 2017, decisions were made. Decisions were made. And these decisions were made based on different influential factors. Based on, we tie with this other government, we tie with this people. People didn't sit and think through the consequences. And part of thinking through the consequences will be to ask the hardcore questions, to have some of the factual disagreements, to ensure that you are critical about even people that you support or you care about. If what's criticism, I'm not saying to say, oh, because you want to be balanced, so you might make up things because they say, oh, you criticize the other group, so you must criticize somebody else when there is no need to criticize or nothing there to criticize on. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being rational. I'm talking about being factual with the issues, asking the necessary questions. Even in your own party, being critical because today or tomorrow, or with your own political leader, you don't want to go and look like a fool. Because the questions that you think that you have on mind that you haven't asked when you go to that party meeting, just know that somebody else will ask that question. And it could be an embarrassment for all of you. It could throw everybody under the bus. So it's okay for you to ask these questions. It's okay when you go into your meetings, into your different parties, for you to bring out those concerns. Now, even if they don't listen to you there, you are on record that it was brought up. You are on record that you took a certain position and you took a certain stand against certain things. Be on record. Let us say, oh, that person had to deal with, oh, that member had to deal with. But the fact remains, you will come back to some of the things that you said. So, let me kind of, Mr. Connor, I was laying some of the basis here. What do you say about this whole elections having consequences and people that we elect into offices?
The problem, first of all, I want to say thank you. This topic is very, very important, very huge and loaded. When somebody say elections have consequences. First of all, the people who are vying for position, people who are going for elective positions, they have no respect for the people in Liberia. Because in other countries, the people that you elect, they work on the mandates of the people. That's why every political party, like the way we have two-party system here, people have something called policy. There's something called agenda. There's something called norms. There's something called, belief. But for Liberia and Liberians, most of us, we don't vote on anything. We don't vote based on policy. We don't vote based on anything. That's why we can jump on the street and start thinking, you this, you that, we will vote for you. Because we don't have anything of our own. If somebody comes to you that they want your vote, you have something to show them, that what you want them to do when you're elected. But if you have nothing, that you just want them to give you $20 or $10, and you vote for them, that you just want them to give you a bag of rice, that you will vote for them. Once they give you that bag of rice, they care less about what become of you for the next six years or 9 years, because you give them nothing. You told them nothing from the onset. So the consequences of election, one of the consequences is that you are a reflection of people you elect. In America here, they talk about value. They talk about principle. They talk about agenda. They talk about things that matter to them. That's why anybody who carry the Republican agenda, the policy, there are some basic policy that they all agree upon. There are some differences in some areas, but there are certain principles that they will hold no matter what. You hold on to. So that's why area that they consider as Republican state, it's not because of the state, it's not the demarcation, that divide the state from other states. No. There are people in those states that have certain belief, certain moral that they hold on to no matter what. So even Steve may not be popular, but if Steve is a Republican and Steve go and run in Louisiana as a Republican candidate, they never heard of him before. But if Steve represents their policy, the belief, the agenda of the Republican Party, if Steve is the standard bearer of that particular party, they will vote for him. Because they're not voting for Steve. They're voting for their belief. They're voting for what they want to achieve. They're voting for their lives, the life they want to live. The law they want to see implemented. You see the difference, Steve? So when you say election have consequences, because people vote for something, but our people, they vote for nothing. Most of them vote for their stomach. And not only voting for their stomach for a long time, just for one day, or 2 days, or just 1 week. Got one back already, not stay more than 2 weeks. If it's still more than 2 weeks, let's say it goes for one month. What about the rest of 5 years and 11 months? So the difference between our country, our people, and everybody else, other people vote for something, Steve. We vote for nothing. And if you ask most of them, okay, maybe you vote for something. What do you vote for? You know what you will get out of them? They want to vote for something, they vote for somebody because of their tribe. They vote for somebody because they're from the same county. They vote for somebody because somebody told them. But the person Steve supporting. So myself too, I got to support that person. Because I believe Steve said I'm going to vote for them. Majority of them, they vote for nothing. Either somebody tell them who to vote for, or they vote for money, somebody to give them money, and not even enough money, or a bag of rice. That's why elected leaders in Liberia, they don't respect the citizen, because you give them no mandate, you give them nothing that you want. They will kind of run their mouth to you. As a matter of fact, that's why Liberia is different. Mostly African countries are different. In other countries, when people are running for president, they're running for position. The citizens, because they have agenda, they have policies, they have certain principles they want to see uphold. You know what they will do? They will contribute to make sure the person that will carry that their agenda, they can move forward their agenda. They will make sure the principle that they believe in is carried on. They will contribute to make sure this person is elected. But because you have nothing, you have no principle, you have no agenda, you have no value to say, this is value that I want to respect. You say, just give me money. You do whatever you want. So those are the consequences we have to live with in Liberia. That's why certain people are not going to be elected in Liberia. But people don't vote for principle. They don't vote for agenda. They don't vote for anything. They just vote for you because you're from their country, you're from their tribe, or somebody tell you to vote for them. And until Liberians can be educated enough to vote on principle, to vote on value, to vote on basic necessity, to say at least I'll vote for that person here, let my life be like other people. Let have clean drinking water. Let have at least 24-hour electricity. Let have security. Let people go out in the night and be safe. If you vote on those things, let's say if those were the reason why you voted for George Weah the last time, if those things are not in place, then you get reason to vote him out. Because if George Weah came and told you, I will give this, I will do this, I will do that, I will do that, I will do that, 5 years later, he did nothing, then you vote him out. But you have to let him know that you are important, that you want some things done, that you want security in your country. At least you want the government to invest in private sectors. You want the government, you want to make sure that young people are employed, they're working, they're not begging from government office to government office. They're not going to lawmaker to ask them for handout. That the environment, the enabling environment wherein the government invests in private sector, that people can be employed, so that they can create a lot of different schools, vocational schools, where people can learn trade, to learn to be carpenter, to learn to be seamstress, to do different things. But other opportunities are there. But if you tell them nothing, they will give you nothing. So that's the problem, Steve. The consequences of our elections is that we give our leaders nothing. We ask for nothing. Because we ask for nothing, they give us nothing. So until we can learn how to tell them what we want, let it commit to us that if you vote for me, I will do X, Y, and Z. I will make sure these are the things that we want to make sure are done under our leadership. If they don't do it, you got something to hold them back. But if you ask for nothing, you show them nothing, you expect something, they will say you're stupid. That's what they can insult their voters.
Yes, I agree with you, Mr. Kane. Even at different levels of the elections, whether at the presidency or so forth, these are reasons we vote people in. You know, some of the reasons you've listed. But Mr. Kane, just before we get back to this question, something strange is happening in the country, and I'm very concerned. Okay. I know people want to shy away from some of these conversations, but I want to throw a little bit of light on the whole alleged robbery to the former Chief Justice's house. I want to come back to that.
Okay.
And the reason I want to come back to this is the former Chief Justice is not just anybody. To be a Chief Justice of a country, that means you understand the law at the highest height. To some extent, that is the expectation. You are an expert, you know the law, you've been around, you understand the inner workings of the law. You don't just wake up in the morning and just be Chief Justice. No, you've gone through the ranks and files. So my question to you is, because this is a strange behavior I've seen. Even if the government cannot be trusted, why should a threat be issued to Gloria Musu-Scott by Patrick Sudo that if she refuses to appear for an interrogation, then they will have to go to legal means? Don't you think that this is something that she should subject herself to, knowing that she wants to know the truth of this matter? She wants to go to depth and understand what exactly happened. What is going on? Is this a political thing? Do we want the facts? Do we want to understand what's happening? I'm very confused.
I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure if that's what happened, like you alluded to. But what I heard was that she availed herself and the family members, and they were all subjected to interrogation, into questioning by the state security, that they went to their home and ask them questions. So the part that a threat was issued before they submit to the state security for investigation, I don't know about that because what I believe.
So Mr. Kane, because we are credible people, let me read this quick from Front Page Africa. Let me read this part quick. Quote: failure on their part to honor the invitation, the LMP will be left with no option but to take appropriate legal action through the courts of the law, the LMP stated in the press conference.
So I'm not sure whether LMP was so fast to do that.
Right.
Because was that after the refusal to submit to the invitation? We don't know. And these people, they're not credible. They don't even know what they are doing. As a matter of fact, you don't need to ask anybody to investigate a crime. All you need is to have reason, probable cause. And once you get a such warrant, or you get a probable cause to question somebody, you can either go there or you can invite them. You don't even have to wait. Because what happens if a crime is committed, if a crime is believed to have been committed, the people got to go to the crime scene and take fingerprints,
right,
and secure something they call FOC, fruit of crime. They want to make sure everything that matters, everything that will be relevant to their investigation. You don't need to ask anybody for that. They should have gone there the very night it happened. By before in the morning, they should have barricaded the whole place. Make sure they secure everything. And every human being that's supposed to be questioned, they will be in government possession to ask them questions. If they are victim, yes, you go there, you talk to them. If they refuse to talk, you note it. If they talk, you note it. All that one can form part of your investigation before you can open charges against anybody. What if somebody in that household connive with other people that came in to kill somebody else? What if? What if something is staged and then it goes wrong? All those things are possible. Somebody can stage something and then the whole thing can go wrong, can lead to death. So you don't have to ask anybody to investigate. If a crime is committed, anytime a crime is committed or believed to have been committed, that crime is committed against the state. So the government has the right to investigate. Nobody should be, nobody should refuse to come, to submit yourself or to avail yourself to the government to government investigation. So to say she refused, if they refuse, if they do, the people themselves, they're not serious.
And Mr. Kane, just to, I'm not trying to be
people that you're talking about in Labrador, they're not serious people.
Yes, and just to
corroborate, they don't know what they are doing.
To corroborate what you just said, let me say this to part of the consequences of having elections and so forth. These are some of the consequences we're having. The police director appeared on Thursday along with the Minister of Justice to the Senate. He was quizzed. He was asked about, the interrogation process and so forth. Do you know that the police director could not even recall that the police spokesman, Moses Carter, had already spoken previously and said statements were released by the family? Do you know the police director could not recall that? It was Senator Darius Dillon that had to remind him that he is saying something different as opposed to what's publicized by the police. So was he not aware that The police already made a statement that they already took statement from this woman or from the victim's alleged victim's mother. So, I mean, Mr. Kane, just what you are saying, the government has made this entire case messy, funny, and very confusing. Because here you have Moluba Molu, who is a party chairman. What does that have to do with the party? Even if Koji is the Secretary General, this thing is at the executive level of the government. It has to be done, handled there. The party should stay away. But you got what he mean? Moluba Molu again making statements like he made when the 16 billion got missing, the 16 billion saga, like he's done with every other issue.
He saw the figure that were carrying the money.
You're right. So I mean, I don't understand. These are some of the consequences we're talking about.
Let me tell you this, Steve. The lack of coordination between Moses Carter and his boss. That one, I'm not surprised. But what I know is that these guys, they are not behaving like professional people. Either they are just unprofessional or they're willfully behaving like that because they are one-sided. Because what happened, and this is something that it goes around the entire Liberian community or Liberian society. People in power, any negative thing that will happen in the country, whether they know about it or not, they will try to protect it to the level wherein they feel like any negative thing that happens in the country, that the government is responsible. So government must make sure to cover it up. Because they feel like any negative thing happen, it will have negative, effect on them. So they don't do their job based on professionalism. What they do, they are only there to cover up. Oh, something happened with this, somebody that, oh my man, you make sure that thing will not go out of hand. You make sure you control it before the opposition jump on that again. That's the problem. Instead of doing their job, their problem is to make sure they cover the government's part, so that no negative thing can come out, especially election time, so that the government will not be reprimanded by the people. So they are there to only cover up for the government. They care less. Let me tell you one of the reasons that is happening. In Liberia, people try to politicize everything. Even somebody died today, other people are not going to go investigate. They will say that we are government killed the person. Some people they're doing that too. So that's why when something happen in the country, the government they don't care about what happened, what did not happen. They will just try to cover it so that people can say again our government did it. So people, this thing it goes both ways. It's crazy, but we have to say it. People have to be responsible enough that not everything you politicize. When it comes to politics, you speak politics. When it comes to human rights, you speak human rights. When it comes to youth, you talk about youth. Even if it benefits your opponent, talk about it if it's a good thing. If it's a bad thing, talk about it even if it is against yourself. But that's not the problem in Liberia, Steve. That's why everybody being somehow defensive about everything. Similarly, for example, look at Joseph Boakai's sickness. When we came out and wrote to pray for the old man, some people get angry about that. They try to politicize, but they try to create a different intention for themselves. different from the person that wrote the post. Or if you're going to talk about it, so long you are not a supporter of Joseph Boakai, you're not supposed to talk about his sickness by any means, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't talk about it at all. Don't even pray for him. If you pray for him, either you're making mockery or you are trying to down him because you won't give Jowia the opportunity, the advantage, or Komis the advantage. So that's the kind of mindset in Liberia. So because of that, some people too in the government, anything happen, they will try to cover it because they feel like, oh, when it happens, they put them coming, say that government again. So instead of doing their job, they will go ahead and try to somehow cover up so that they can be blamed for it. Other than that, something happened. This guy, what's his name? Moluba Molu has nothing to do with security issue. It has nothing to do with justice system. You should be quiet. But because people are not being reprimanded for their behavior in Liberia, that's why people can say anything or do anything they want. When Moluba Molu talked about the money business the last time, $16 billion, he was not called to answer a question. Nobody said anything to him. When Moluba Molu said the president had to sleep with all the women that he gave them position, that the president can go out of the country, go get money under the name of the country, and then he come and pocket the money for himself. Moluba Molu was not asked question. Even the Senate, the House of Representatives, they should want to call him.
Yeah.
But they did not. Because they are a bunch of useless, spineless people in position. Either they don't know their job or they are afraid of not sending money from the president.
So Mr. Kenneth, speaking in that light, speaking of the Senate, and you spoke on both ends of this conversation, both the opposition and the government. I want to bring something to your attention, the public. Let me get your thought on this. The Daily Observer published something that happened yesterday on Friday. As a matter of fact, that's another topic we'll probably get into by tomorrow. The budget has been passed. The Senate passed the budget. 16 senators voted. For the record, Senator Darius Dillon, Senator Bocha Singwe, and Senator Yombli Kanga Lawrence did not vote. They voted against it, for the record. But let's get to the question I want to ask you, because we're talking about this legislature here. The president for the Association of Female Lawyers in Liberia, her name is Attorney Philemona William. They went to the Capitol Hill, or however you want to call them. They went there and presented a petition. They had a march in solidarity to Justice Musu Gloria Scott. This is what Philomena said, and I will read another portion of whoever received the document, what she said as well. Listen to this. Philomena, quote. I think it's from your end. Your system is going blurry. Can you hear me? Maybe you want to log up and log back in. I think that would help us, because you went frozen, then you went blurry, and now we can't. Guys, stay tuned as Sekou handles some of these technical problems. We want to bring this entire thing in context here for us to, and you have the opportunity to call in very soon to participate. But just for the sake of this conversation, those of you following the story, some of you did not follow through the week because you were either working, busy, or so forth, you couldn't follow. I want to bring you up to speed here. There was a march, protest, however you want to term it, of women wearing black. The female lawyer, Attorney Philemona William, made a statement, and this is the statement she made. Let me read it. When Sekou comes back, I'll still read it. This is what she said, quote, that injustice against one woman is injustice against all women. Y'all listen, yo. Injustice against one child is injustice against all children. Please listen to this. Few months ago, 3 missing boys. No statements at search. we'll get to this because we have to tussle and we tussle. Okay. I think Sekou is getting ready here. When he's ready, he will come. We'll get to this. So, Mr. Kane, just before you left, I want to bring this to your attention because you spoke about the government, their immaturity, irresponsibility, recklessness, unprofessionalism, and all that, how they've handled this entire thing, how people are just speaking and melting into it. But you also, on the contrast, spoke about the opposition not playing politics with this and so forth. But here is the opposition's part that I'd like for us to look into and let the public decide. Anthony Philomena Williams reminded lawmakers, I think they went on Thursday or Friday, they went for March, Thursday or whatever. This is what she said, that in quote, injustice against one woman is injustice against all women. Injustice against one child is injustice against all children. One of the questions I wanted to ask you before I go to the second part of this question is, where was Philomena and the rest of these people when the 3 missing boys were missing? We didn't see them making this statement or going with the parents to the Capitol Hill to go make this kind of remarks. When Princess Copper most recently died, allegedly was killed, we didn't see this. That children and women we are talking about as well. So that's the first part of it. But let's get to the second part, because here's where it gets interesting, because the Senate gets involved this time around. And coincidentally, the Senate getting involved, this is how it played out. She continued and said, by electing you, we have agreed to empower you to represent and protect our interests in situations such as what we are going through. And this is why we have decided to come to you first. Receiving the petition, listen to this one. Receiving the petition, the chairperson of the Senate on Rules, Orders, and Administration, Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, assured the women and some men among them that their action was one of the fundamentals of democracy and human rights. This is what she said. This is what she said. Let me quote this because it's in quotation. This is Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence. We want you to know that the legislature can recommend a vote of no confidence. A vote of no confidence is on the table. We will present that next Tuesday. We want you to engage your lawmakers to ensure that a vote of no confidence for that security sector. Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence said, Mr. Kane, what do you make of this situation, this quagmire that we're in? What do you make of it? Is this politics?
First of all, let me understand Senator Lawrence's comment. Vote of no confidence in which security apparatus? Is it the police?
Let me give you
or the justice system.
So the issue of vote of no confidence, has been lingering around, and it started off with Senator Darius Dillon, who verbalized it. It started with Senator Darius Dillon, who verbalized it towards the police director, Patrick Sulu. That one time he said it. He recommended it openly, in session, and the recordings are there to prove it. So Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence is now saying that a vote of no confidence is on the table. As a matter of fact, that's something they're going to recommend this coming Tuesday in session. Now, given the two situations of this opposition woman group, or solidarity group, or female group, or however you want to term them as, who has sat very quietly on other deaths, on other people, on other citizens in the country. They've said nothing, done nothing, never taken this kind of initiative. Is this politics and hypocrisy? What are we witnessing?
Now I get your point. Whether Senator Lawrence or Senator Dillon or anybody else, what is going on currently in Liberia? Everything is politicized. That's just a fact. When it comes to women group, I'm not going to downplay their effort for coming up at this time, because there's no pattern to do good thing. However, if you must be good, you must be good all the time. And if you are going against bad things, do not be selective. If you want to condemn bad behavior, condemn all bad behavior. If you think you are against corruption, you are against human rights violation, do not wait for you or your person or somebody close to you to be victimized before you can stand up. I think the help coming out is a good thing, but they should have done the same thing for other people. And moving forward, let them be able to continue with it. Because it is clear, it's glaring facts. The reason why, or one of the reasons why both Senator Dillon and Senator Kanga are invested in this particular subject is because the little incursion, Councillor Musu Scott, is their lawyer. It's working for them. So they are standing up for her. That's plain and simple. Even when she was accused of not cooperating, I was on Senator Yombli's page that I saw her saying that they have cooperated with the people, they have cooperated with the law enforcement, they have gone, they have taken statement from all of them, they are doing what they ought to be doing. So yes, it's not a bad thing to stand with the victims. It's not a bad thing to stand against bad behavior, but you must do it all the time. Don't be selective. That is the political part of the whole thing, Steve. Everything being politicized, and somehow it may seem like hypocritical, but no, that's the way they do things in Liberia nowadays. Even the government, they do the same thing. If a crime is committed, for example, Yaka Kolba was harassed, was intimidated, was attacked for something that they said that he didn't do, that he said he told one of his bodyguards to do. Akala Gray went and did the same thing. The government went against Yaka Kolba, wanted to arrest him. They even call him to court to go answer questions. But then Akala Gray went and did the same, even the worst. Nobody asked him. Because that's one of their own. Selective justice. That's the problem. We are saying the government is doing it, but people in opposition to will do the same thing. Let me tell you something. When Mohammed Kamara was shot and killed in Sano, how many Liberians you heard talking about it? Not even to do anything, to protest or whatsoever. How many of them you heard talking about it? Very few. But when it happened to somebody else, other people talk about that. When those children got missing, everybody talk about it, whoa, 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 whoa. Nothing happened. Guess what? When somebody who close to them, when happen to that person, something will happen. So that hypocritical aspect of it will always happen. And that's why you and I, we are here, and everybody else, to talk about it, to call people's attention, to do the right thing. Not only because you are victimized or your person is victimized. Always condemn wrong thing, regardless of who is at the receiving end, regardless of the victim or the perpetrators. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's bad, it's bad. But people being selective, Steve, it's not just Yombly or the law. That has been a culture in Liberia, which is very bad.
I agree with you, Mr. Cullen. I agree with you 100% that part of the vested interest level at this point, it seems as though this thing is being politicized or there's some bias or whatever it is. However, I'd still applaud the efforts to want to hold the police director in contempt or hold him accountable. The issue of accountability is always important. I agree with you, but I just wish that this would continue, like you said, at all levels, regardless of your connections.
Let me tell you an example.
Mm-hmm.
Cabinet Janet, Justice Janet.
Yeah.
He did nothing. He was removed because Jowia and people they didn't want to see him there. Because they were successful because he was a Madingo man, he was a Muslim man.
Yeah.
Similar attempt was made on Yeke Kolba several occasions. You know what? It didn't work. And we know why it didn't work. So that's Liberia. That's Liberia right there. People will pretend as if everything is okay, but if nothing is okay in Liberia. Tribalism is key. Selective justice is on the rampage, and at all levels, not just the government, opposition, everybody.
Religious phobia.
Religious phobia or religious bigotry or extremism. It's there.
Yeah, Mr. Kanye, remember the pastor then dressed the tie and neck?
When people say, when people are attacked because of their tribe, because of their religion, people sit back and say nothing. But when people react, they say, well, it will bring war to the country. So that's just Liberia. I don't know where it will change. I don't know how it will change. But the hypocrisy in Liberia. Let me tell you something. Growing up, when people travel, people used to have checkpoints. Some of the most famous checkpoints were the one they call the one in Salala and the one in Banga, Pong County. And there used to be another one in Sanikole before entering Sanikole. I grew up, and after growing up, when I started driving, I used to drive people from Logato, from Monrovia to Logato, from Logato to Monrovia, to Campley, to Yekepa. I know how people were treated without even knowing them just because of their name. When you say, what is your name? When you say your name is Mr. Colley, you pass. Nobody asks you for ID. Your name is Lopu, Mary, you pass. But you just say, my name is Musa. What is your ID? You go, pack you different place. Or Mano man from Jeke in Guinea will travel with a Madingo man who is a Liberian. When they all travel to Guinea, when they're coming back together, the Mano man will come. He can't even speak English. He would call him Mano name. Nobody asked him. He will pass. But the Madingo man who is a Liberian, when he call his name, they will ask him for his ID. So those are the things that contributed to the war in Liberia. And those behaviors have not changed for a second. People want to do it now in a more professional way than they used to do it broad daylight. They're not doing it that way this time around, but it still exists. Even I said who's sitting here, when somebody disagree with me, instead of attacking me on the issue, they will attack my tribe. You, Moses, will come and say anything you want to say right now. That's fine. But when I say A, they say, oh, yes. You will come now and give supporting statement about certain things that have to do with Musa ability. But when I say A, they say, oh, no, that's tribalism. Sekou is a trap because he's a trap man. Sekou can go now and support Dara Dillon. That's fine. But by the time I say, yes, I'm supporting Miami Fofana, no, Sekou is a tribalist. Those behavior in itself is tribalism. But people don't say it. And those things are contributing to everything that's going on in Liberia. Even Musa ability behavior. Musa ability action in the Liberty Party. A lot of people attack him fairly for something they disagree with him when he comes to the Liberty Party. But a lot of other people, they attack him because of his tribe. You know how many times you listen to people saying, let him go to go for your own party? Musa ability is not the only person. How come other people who are leaders in the Liberty Party, their tribe will never call to go tell them, say, okay, let Harrison Conway go to Nima and go, or let you go to Gio people or Mano people to go for your own party? How come you never hear that? How come? So those things, they are happening on a daily basis. People have to change, Steve. Whatever you see right now is happening on the political scene, whether it's the government doing it or opposition are doing it, these things been existing for a long time. Selective justice, selective action. When it happened to Steve, it's okay. When it happened to Sekou, no, it's not okay. When your name is Moses, it's fine. When your name is Peter, it's not fine. Do you know how many crown people entered Liberia from Ivory Coast and they were considered citizens? They were speaking French. They couldn't even speak one English. But people, Mandingo men will be discriminated against because you can't speak English. That means the man from Guinea. Do you know how many Kisi people from Kisidu in Guinea? How many Loma people from Masantan region that will enter Liberia, they speak no English, but they are Liberians. But when you are a Mandingo man, no, you are not a Liberian. Liberian Mandingo men that were born in Liberia, family, their grandparents, great-grandparents were born in Liberia, but they were discriminated against because of their tribe and their religion. But simply because the Mano man, the Gio man, that will come from Ivory Coast and Guinea, and the Crown man that will come from Ivory Coast, because they are not Mandingo, they are not Muslim. They are part of the society. They're from Liberia. They are Liberian too. Even as we speak, you know, one of the reasons why I call Eugene Fagon is a tribalist. Eugene Fagon, that's the only thing he got. He has his arsenal to fight. If he disagrees with you, he will call your tribe, or he will assign you to a different country. You saw him at some point when Eugene Fagon highlighted Opon. He's trying to insinuate that Jowia is not from Liberia. Now, Eugene Fagon. You know, Eugene Fagon told me, when you're speaking about our country, you should be careful. As if he is more Liberian than me. Eugene Fagon said to Kefasani in so many occasions. When they were together, everything is good. But when they disagree, he cannot adequately or intellectually fight him. He referred to his tribe because he has Hassan name on him. He's a Mandingo man. Oh, the men from Freetown. But when you used to sleep with the men in the men house, when the men union and the men both were supporting the government at the same time, doing everything together, the man was not Sierra Leonean at that time. But now he's a Sierra Leonean. That behavior, Steve, is not strange. And it will happen. Majority of the people will remove meat on it. They will not see anything. Very few people, like you and some other people, will frown on those things. They will talk about it. But majority of the people, they will see it happening. They will not even say anything. As a matter of fact, most of those derogatory comments come from people who are supposedly educated. So these things, Steve, it's not strange. Sometimes when we see it in politics, it will sound strange, it will sound hypocritical, but that has been something in Liberia and it been existing, and it will continue to be there. Think about it. Or how many warlords are serving in the Liberian legislature, both Senate and the House of Representatives? When Alhaji Nkrumah ran for Senate, you know why he was not elected? Oh, Alhaji Nkrumah made a warlord. No, because they made a Mandingo man. That's why he did not win. Plain and simple. If Prince Josie can serve in the Senate, if George Bole can serve in the House of Representatives, or Yeke Koluba, but no. It's not because they are warlord, not because Alhaji Nkrumah was a warlord. No, it was because he was a Mandingo man, a Muslim man. It's just plain and simple, Steve. Tribalism, sectionalism is the one that is killing Liberia. It is one that keeps us behind. And for us to progress, it's going to be tough because people continue to harbor those things. They will pretend as if everything is good, but no, it's not.
Well, I agree with you, Mr. Kane. That's why when I saw those belly-driven Christians who call themselves men of God, who are religious phobic, unserious, sold out, foolish people calling themselves men of God, going to the Capitol Hill, where they connive with a friend in there because all of them in the same society to say when you're gay, Mandingo people or Muslim people, holiday, they will do war in the country. When I saw that and I saw some Christians coming my inbox, oh my man, you can't talk about this. I told them, I said, no, but I'm not bringing that foolishness to me. I'm not part of that, your foolish thing. So yes, what you are saying is the fact. But on the contrary, I will also say this, and I continue to say it. We can talk about racism, discrimination, phobia, whatever it is. Until the people that are directly affected take a stand, nothing will be done. I've called on the Muslim community because now all Mandingos are Muslim. Let that be clear to everybody. There are some Mandingos who are Christian, vice versa. Some Christians who are Mandingo. I've called on them. You want this thing for you? Impact the economy. The foolishness these people don't do it, they'll cut the crap out. Don't run. Take 3 days. Close all the businesses that you got down. No transportation, nothing. I challenge them, Mr. Kane. They will call the Muslim community and say, hey, which day y'all want for holiday? Which one of the day y'all want peak? They will even beg you. That's how you change things. Regardless of your party, regardless of who you support, no political party, no political leader. Your man, your pastor can call you and say, don't go. Yeah. The imam call you that the imam don't forget that thing. You're set in 3 days. If they misbehave, make it to 5 days. They continue, make it to 7 days. You 14, 21. Mr. Kane, this thing will change. We can say all these things. But I'm saying it again. If my grandma used to say your own, that your own. If you don't seek your own interests, these people don't care. And that's true. Even with the Musa Belede issue, I could hear this guy from Clark Tume, from the Liberty Party. I think it was Clark Tume or someone, I forgot his name or whatever it is. He started this propaganda that even the issue was connected to Musa Belede, that Musa Belede, when, all of these things are done, and that's true you say. All of these things are done, even with Matt Jabate. When that Majabata decided to support CDC, that the man right. That is the man right. Let a man go there and see what's there. If he don't get what there, he will reason. But they call mark all kind of news. They denigrated the young man. When a man told you, they talk about the man religion.
Yep.
You see it? So the thing what you say, Mr. Cannon, that true, but again, at this point, I don't blame nobody. I don't blame the government. I blame the Muslim community who is allowing this foolishness to happen. This particular nonsense. I don't blame nobody for it. If they were taking the stance they need to take, then they were not talking anything. The Muslim will get on a holiday. What thing happened? Christian get holiday in Liberia. What thing happened? What thing happened? No Christian better than Muslim. No Muslim better than Christian. We're all human beings. I'm a Christian. I'm not Islamophobic. No, I'm not worried about your religion. If you feel that way you find comfort and you see God or you want to serve there, no problem, no wala. Go there. But we all must have equal rights in our country. So if the Muslim people really see right, and then why are we red legislature to do what? Red legislature for what? In your own business. If you close it down for a couple of days and your amalgamate forces and pull yourself together, trust me, they will come begging. When I go red legislature might be pushing you around, be doing the one and be doing that one, be making a diplomat. Are you serious? But again, that's why it boils down to Mr. Kane. And these are the facts. Elections have consequences. And they did that in the cabinet, Janet. When election time was coming, who did you see? And you saw the scene.
Yeah, they see people going to the mosque.
So they go to the mosque.
To go ask the people to go vote for them.
Yes, the Muslim people are only good for prayers. Yeah. They're only good time to when they time to vote, then we are Liberian. Yeah. When they finish taking the vote, and that's why I've always said, again, we have to do this. We have to have these tough conversations. The kind of, we'll open the lines tomorrow. We'll continue. I'm already engaging with 2 Liberians that will join us tomorrow in the conversation because the conversation will continue tomorrow. We're hoping to have our Karishma on because she served as one of the elections commissions or observers in Nigeria to give us some updates. We're concluding on it. We'll also have Mark Jabate, who was also directly from a fake account implicated into this whole situation when Senator Jombly Kanga Lawrence used, that hacked Mark Jabate profile. So we want to ask him how far this is going, what's going on behind the scene, because all of these things, we need to have clarity and context on them, Mr. Kane, as we get towards the election, because again, elections have consequences. They do, whether you like them or not. The people you elect not only represent you, but they impact your life or they affect your life. Whether you like it or not, take it or leave it. We'll open the lines. I think I had a very first call here. We'll open the line for the next few minutes. Mr. Kane, do you have anything else you want to add or share?
Actually, going back to the topic.
Yes.
Before you take the first call, is that people should have something to vote for. For example, if you believe that tribalism is the one that is killing our country, whoever you're going to vote for, tell them that you want to see tribalism in Liberia as a hate crime. Like the way here, racism is a problem here. They are engaged in racism. There is a systematic racism in America. People do it, but when they are confronted, they deny it because they are afraid of it. Because why? It could affect you legally. So if you believe that tribalism is the one that is killing Liberia, go ahead, force your legislature. Tell them, let them make tribalism a hate crime. So that people who are engaged in tribalism can stop it, so the country can move forward. If Sekou is competent to serve in certain capacity, he should not be limited. He should not be deprived of that right because of his tribe or because he's Muslim. He should be given the opportunity like everybody else. If Moses is qualified, whether he's a Christian or Muslim, he should be given the opportunity, irrespective of his tribe or religious preference. That's all I got to say, my man. Our elections and any other elections have consequences, but you must have something to ask for. But you have nothing, they will give you nothing.
Thank you, Mr. Kane. Just to our listeners and our viewers, we'll take a couple of calls. If you call and we don't answer directly, just a regular routine for those of you who are joining us. The first caller has few, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Everybody else will be restricted to a minute.
The funny thing is,
so that we can have this conversation. Everybody can
the
have
whole
the
people, they want to just control one that
get
gets
to the point. Yeah, hold on 1 second before we bring the first caller in. So let me put a cash app number here because
they have people there, they can't pay taxes.
No, lead them. The thing about it is, I forgot to make that announcement, sir. I forgot to make it. Thank you, sir, for reminding me. Let me put a cash app number over there. Let me say this, please, guys. Tomorrow we'll announce it again. Starting off April, part of the meeting and the discussion we've had with the rest of the team that some of them you don't see here on Facebook, some of them working behind the scene. We'll not call their names because they don't want to be in the front. Starting from April until the elections can happen, there will be no free interview. You want to interview? You want to come on the platform? We don't have a problem. We'll discuss how much it will cost. Let me say again, especially you're the political actor, you're the political people. It will not be free. No, it will not be free. Let me say again, it will not be free. Don't call with no draw door story. They got plenty of other places. You won't go there, bon voyage. Go there, they're free. It will not be free yet. Starting from April 1st, just so you know. Yeah, it will not be free. If you call, we'll tell you how much it will cost. You not agree with it, keep it moving. We'll not get a problem with you. If we invite you, let's say we bring you here, we call you to bring you here. That's a different thing. If you want to appear on SKTV starting from April, it will not be free. I don't care who you are. You can be President John. We have said you will pay. We're not here for that. Mr. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Yeah, hi, Steve and Seiko. This is Mr. Maolo. Yeah, I heard you guys discussing this whole issue of tribal connections and, the Islamophobia and all of that. Listen, these things, it happened because of the ignorance of our people. One of the reasons why they're taking us away from civics from our educational system, it harms us in these kind of ways. Most Liberians I see now, I think this happened really after the coup and further. They think it was those that made Mandingo people citizens of Liberia. And I always tell them, go and read their history. The Mandingos and the Fulani were the first inhabitants of that land we call Liberia today. So for you, any other people, you think that you're more citizens than Mandingo people? Yes, they got different. Liberian people came from everywhere in Africa. That land was a land of runaway people. People were running away from different things and brought them there. So that's why you will see Bassa people in Cameroon. You will see Kra people in Ivory Coast. You will see Mandingo people in Guinea. You will see Loma people in Guinea. You will see Tala people in Guinea. You will see Kru people in Ghana and Nigeria and all of that. That's where our people come from, all over Africa. That's why it's not by mistake that they call it a land of liberty. Everybody there was running away from something. For those who don't believe it, go look under the monument of J.J. Robert up Dugo Hill. The tall man you see there with a long gun, the Mandingo man. King Salvoso, the man who protected the settlers when the other people wanted to attack them. The man who told the British, stop taking Liberian land, or they will have him to deal with. And they knew he had the strongest army in that region. People don't know our history. So they call people all kind of names. Yes, the Mandingos that came from Guinea and they came to Liberia. Yes, but do you know that the Gakran people? Do you know that the Doe man who was president, his crown came from Ivory Coast? People got to understand their history. Liberia is a land of everybody. Every Negro person can be a citizen of Liberia. If you were not born there, you get a right to become. So all this tribalism and homophobia, Islamophobia, excuse me, it's all because of ignorance. Now there's one thing. I lived in the Arab world before. When you see how the Arab people act in their country, it makes people afraid to accept that whole Islamic stuff, because it seems like they kind of overbearing over their people, forcing them to do this, forcing them to do that.
30 seconds, please. We got another caller, Mr. Malo.
Yeah, like in some Arab countries, they only allow one church in the whole place.
Yep.
You know, some of the people are against that. They're afraid that if they allow, then they will become like that.
Thank you.
Some of that fear is just, but I think that too is out of ignorance, because our law is different.
Thank you.
You know, and so we just got to educate, and the civic need to be put back, where we can have our people write the real history of our country, so that we see our strength and know that together we are one.
Thank you.
We're not different people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I got another caller here, guys. Really quick, let me get this other caller that we missed the call. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Yeah, Broski, I'm calling from California. My name is Sekou Dube.
Yeah, Sekou Dukle, my man, what's going on? That you're the money people. They say California that you're making all the baby money, or what's going on?
No, I'm based in Arizona, but I just came to California.
No, my man, leave that thing there, leave that story. You know, yeah, forget that story. We now have you on the roster. Don't bring out that noise.
Mr. President,
Hey.
hold on, Mr. President. I got a trip to meet you.
Okay, no problem with me when you get back to Arizona. When you get back and you register with me.
I'll register. If we want a relationship, Mr. President, no problem.
All right.
Let me go to the point.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I want to say here is, my brother, you have brother Kanye, you know, if like bro was civilized, that the way in the gospel with all in the eye without having differences. Look at your running your station. You have been a dignitary, caliber of people on his SKTV. But no one day we hear any argument between Steve and brother Kanye. And your corporations, some of us, I follow two of you, I'm very impressed. If we can think like that back home, we can do things together. It doesn't mean when me, Flomo, your need, Sekou, we can work. We can work. If the American man can work with everybody, we can work together in our country. And what I was just saying, it makes a lot of sense to me. If we can pull our religion matter on the side and put our tribal business on one side, Liberia will be better. We've been thinking about this type of stuff, but yeah, you and Sekou working together. I know Steve is not Mandingo name, but I know you work with Mandingo people, and I love that. I appreciate that. When you're working with different tribes and you're working together, no confusion, nobody bring propaganda between you, or they men are Mandingo men, or they men are Fula men, or they men are Kio men. I don't got time for that. I only believe in what you can bring to the table. If you are qualified, you must can work together. Qualification will resume.
Yes.
If he can run the entity, and Steve is a different tribe, what can I give to Steve to run it? If I'm a new man, what's wrong with that? So I can't think like that back home. See, I admire you working with Mr. Kanye. I really admire you. You don't have to get 10 million platform. 2 million is enough. When you're doing better, look at you. The kind of minister that is not being on show, presidential candidate. The only person not being on your show, only job we are. But all the other people not on your show. So you guys doing good. And we got to work like that back home.
Point of correction, Mr. Dugley, Joe Weah and Joseph Boakai.
There are still people there. One thing Joseph Boakai not in the driving seat. And still two people, but just Joe Weah and Joseph Boakai, they are one thing Joseph Boakai not president. But if you bring Joseph Boakai to your platform, that means definitely already been John Weah. So your platform is one of the bigger platforms around the world, not only Liberia. So you guys doing good. It's not only one man doing it. Two of you doing it. And you're bringing people like senators in the place. You're bringing lawyers. You're bringing presidential candidate. You're bringing entrepreneurs. People who are doing business. They come on top of their business. No, you guys are doing good, and like we have to think that way. If we come here, we hold together. We can hold together in our own motherland. And we keep going again. One of those man, mafia, he rule, he caught a bad on the man. But when you really go behind the door, American support the team. They might kind of got to win the game. There is a man that will eat a man money. He eat a man money that you never for a man to give somebody. And the man that says it, how will you be using somebody all the time? You're not forgot looking at one another down for. Let us embrace one another. What are the men not going to the church? But he's a Liberian. Maybe he not believing in Christianity. And what are the men not going to mosque? He's a Liberian. Maybe he not believing going to the mosque. So we all, God make us here. Let God judge us. Let nobody judge me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ducle. Appreciate it. Well, folks, if you're just joining us, we
I have a caller here being on hold forever. Let me
yes, please put our caller through. I beg you.
Caller, what is your name and where you calling from? 708 number 1554.
This is Japa Reed. How you doing, sir? How you doing today?
Japa Reed?
Yes.
This is not the same Japa Reed that used to be in Atlanta.
That's people I just called in from a work phone.
What? What happened? Where have you been?
Yeah, I know, man. I've been around, man.
We started the show together. We used to have 20 people here. So now we grow now. We can't find you.
I know, man. I need to come one day. I had some really burning issues that I need sometimes to, because I'm one of the angry men on social media.
Oh.
I really went for the invitation one day for one of these platforms to really dive into my mind and my thinking of my reaction. But
all
anyway,
right.
let's go to the topic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You see, Brother Steve, whatever, Brother Kid, I'm my big brother. I respect you, but like everybody else that I have a lot of respect for, and I still maintain that. But sometimes we want to speak the truth and we want to speak to power. In my view, you know, when you have a small group of people, it doesn't mean anything different or anything on the contrary. But you see, in the United States, even in the United States, we Muslim and Christian live together here. But how many major holiday promoted, well supported that the United States support? Not many, okay, as compared to the amount of holidays that have been observed in Saudi Arabia or some of the United Arab Emirates. However, Liberia is a democratic society. We all have been living together there for the longest, and I think we are doing great. But we have a democratic form of government. We go for election. And we have votes. And if you want to be honest, Liberia is dominated by not the Muslim or not the Mandingo that heavily worship in the Islamic faith. So my thing here is that under no circumstances it will easily be possible to have a verse on the table that will be recognized to your understanding, or maybe to whatever you may gain as advantage, okay? But in the like what we in that may not even be possible over there. But we coexist, and I think we are doing great. But sometimes I want to believe the Mandingo tribe have been used for some sinister motive all of the time, and because of their grief or maybe their anxiety to have a seat at the table, they always take the deals, and the deals it make us to not feel like they are really part of us. If you look at what's going on right now in our political arena, you know, we all started this opposition thing here heavily with the Mandingo. Well, how many do you see now coming out? Everybody is now going to where they can have seat at the table, and you already have seat at the table. But the thing is that once you are not in majority in a democratic setting, you will not have your way as you want it to be when it comes to electoral, things. But I think so far we're doing good because we have a chief justice that is Muslim or Islamic Mandingo. We have some representative, and some of the constituencies are represented by the people, by the people of the ethnic group that heavily reside in the area. So we're doing great, we're doing great. But it would not be as you think it should be because it's just two different areas geographically.
Well, I don't understand what the point you're trying to make, but I mean, thanks for your time. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening, good afternoon. This is Mr. Kennan. This is Prince Williams, and I'm calling from
Tennessee, the volunteer state.
Go ahead, Prince. Go ahead. You're live.
All right, thank you very much, and Moses, good to see you again. Thank you for taking time off and coming and bringing out your voice again. Yeah, you guys are discussing such a brilliant discussion about the consequences of the election. I know we dive a little bit into the aspect as it relates to our brothers and sisters from the other tribe, the Mandingo tribe. I hope we can find the time that we can be invited on here so we can have a discussion to see how we can maybe perhaps inform, educate, and perhaps dispel the myths, the rumor, and the legends about this issue of the Mandingos and the acceptance of them and the reaction and the rejection to that effect. We can have a discussion with regards to that, because I know it goes both ways, and I think I have some suggestions that will help put forth a better resolution to have our brothers and sisters be accepted as they were always been, and they has always been a part of us. And that's why one of the discussion we have, Cummings has a policy group that sit down and brainstorm about the policy of Liberia in the case he become president. I'm now a member of that group, but I listen in and I suggest and I critique. And one of the things Cummings, the policy group is proposing, they are sensing that during the after the tenure of President Weah, Liberia are going to be able to do a restart. They're going to be press the restart button and start basically from the scratch, because the damage will be too severe. One of the proposals that has been suggested is that there should be a national conference in the first 90 days of Cummings presidency. He should call a national conference so that we can set the national agenda, so that we can define Liberia, our culture, and what we are. We can reassess and reevaluate our national culture and our identity, and that we can set an agenda for the future of our children and our posterity. And one of the things that will be on the agenda will be where we will use the Rwandan approach. In Rwanda, because of the civil war and the Tutsi and the Husi and the kind of massive hatred and divide that were among them.
Man, when you come to do your coming campaign, then they will charge you. What do you mean?
Well, it's not a campaign, basically, because I do not campaign. I'm not a campaign team. But I'm just trying to propose and say, to give a highlight and understanding of what our country needs. We need a national conference so we can establish our national identity. In Rwanda right now, nobody's identified by tribe in Rwanda anymore. It's illegal to identify anybody by the tribe. You identify them by Rwandan. In their passport, it's Rwandan. It's now Husi or Tutsi or Basa or Kran or Mandingo or this and that. So I think that's what Liberia should be. And I think that's what the founding father envisioned, a country that will have one identity that's for the Negro descent, and so that we can help to advance ourselves. So that's what needs to be done, and that's what our Cummings campaign is thinking about, and that's what we are hoping to happen, and that's what I think I will propose. One of those things will be on there, and that you guys discussed already, that we dispel that notion of tribal identity. Yeah, I mean we can identify ourselves as Liberian, and we respect everybody for where they comes, but we can just basically take pride in our identity as Liberian and set a new agenda for our future, and that's what I think that needs to be done. But on the issue of the Mandingo people, we need to sit down and talk about it, because Mandingo Putu guys are issue there too.
We got nothing to talk about. We got nothing to talk about Mandingo people. When the general conversation comes, we inject some of those things. We do not have any specific time to talk about Mandingo people. We should talk about Liberia, if need be.
Yeah. Thanks for that recalibration of the issue. Yeah, I want to accept that. But in the discussion of Liberia, we will go on and discuss other issues that we can be able to look and assess, and to be redefine our identity, as one people, irrespective of where you come from.
Thank you, sir.
Your tribe or your religion or whatever it is. Thank you very much. Thank you, Moses, and thank you, guys, and thank you, Liberian, for listening and for tuning in. Share the show and pay your due. And what Moses was saying regarding the payment of those who come on, I mean, it is fair that the station be compensated for those who are coming to run political campaign and to perpetuate their vision for their campaign. It is fair that they pay. CNN, other stations, they pay for ads and commercial and things. Since this station doesn't run ad, but rather run discuss on the issue, it's fair that people be paying. So when I come here on there, so running as an independent, you guys just tell me how much I need to pay to come on there and to run my campaign. I don't mind paying that money. You guys deserve better, okay?
No problem, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you.
All right. Caller, what is your name? Welcome. You look like Mervyn this year. Hello?
Yeah. Hello. I'm calling from Europe. Hello.
Yeah, you're live. Your name and where you calling from?
Oh. I'm calling from Europe. My name is Mr. Deshiel, Melvin Deshiel, calling from Belgium.
Calling from Belgium. Go ahead.
I call because the topic is very interesting, Siko, and you and Steve have actually given some very, very good analysis on the consequences of our election. Many have not even talked about what you have brought up as a topic. The consequences, I see the first thing that I see is that everything is being selective. The selective justice, the women going out being selective, as Steve said, these things have been recorded and into each and every one of our mind that we see these things happening and we don't see any good outcome coming out of it in regards to how we're going to tackle them. We had, I see here that I want to ask a question. What unity has the opposition put in commonality, going as one to question the NEC about the census? We all saw it on television and online rather. We saw it online that in certain areas, in certain counties, the people were inflating. They were inflating the names and of others to be able to give that particular county more votes. Now, this is something very, very serious. The opposition are not being very proactive at this moment. And they're waiting for after election to question these things. And these things, I don't think that are going to work because once we have a history in Liberia that once elections have been held and oppositions have some quarrel about it, when they take it to the Supreme Court, it will stay there forever and they won't ever win. So why would we learn a lesson from past and try to correct it from now? Because these things will cause serious problems. And the problem happening now, the consequences are happening now, so I don't know how it's going to end. That's my voice straight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I mean, that is a selling point, Steve. If the opposition could unite around anything, it should be about how they can collectively fight to make sure that the process of the election is transparent, free, and fair. But let me tell you something right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Alexander Cummings or the CPP jump up right now to say the censor is not correct, it's not done the right way, and take that fight to the government, other opposition will never support it because why? It's coming from Cummings. Similarly, if Joseph Boakai and his people decide to take that fight right now, they're sending people too from other opposition. They will never support it because it's coming from Joseph Boakai, which is bad. Opposition, should they unite around anything, should be around election integrity, transparency, accountability, and fairness. But if they can't unite around that, trust me, we will come and do anything because you feel like nobody's going to do anything to him. And you will just break the election and move on. And the opposition will be there fighting each other instead of fighting the government.
Well, Mr. Cannon, that's a very good point. But interestingly, there are members of the opposition, quote unquote, who are double agents, who are playing games, to the extent that something strange happened you can record, and we'll talk about some of these things tomorrow. You can record that when Vice President Joy Howard Taylor announced the results of the census, you would have thought opposition would have united. But some members of the opposition decided that at the same day they would talk about DNA testing as a distraction from national. All the thing we're talking here at the end of the day, during election time, this is what will matter, at the key issue here. And we'll talk about it tomorrow, the census, the current budget that was passed by both the House of Representatives and the Senate, what it really means, because elections have consequences. These are some of the consequences and the mechanism that are put in place. Whether you want to talk about cheating, election rigging, however you want to term it as, these are some of the stages that are already laid out, along with the census. These are not mutually exclusive. Things that opposition members will be discussing right now. They're not discussing it. They're not their concern. That's not the issue then they're supposed to be taking serious and sitting there and saying, listen, we don't have to collaborate on anything. But this particular issue will affect Unity Party, Liberty Party, CPP, ANC, ALP. Let's have a meeting, have a joint press conference on this. Let's get in the streets, refuse this thing. Let's protest together on this thing. No, they're not having that conversation. They're not.
Nope.
But at the same thing that will make them today or tomorrow to enter in a court, and when they enter in a court to the Supreme Court is the arbiter, according to them, of all the laws in the land. Whatever the Supreme Court say, whether you like it or not, go sit down home. Be happy with it and you'll go home. And guess what? The Supreme Court will side with the government. I don't care what you do.
Oh, the president control them. So
let us say that right.
I think we should call a date now, Steve.
Yes, we should. Thank you so much, Mr. Cannon. That's a very good suggestion because myself we are like. But what is going on?
We here.
Yeah, because I transited somewhere quick for something, so I stop in there quick to update you on one or two things.
We'll see you.
My people, tomorrow we have two people that will join us in the conversation. We have Karishma and we have Mark Jabate. Both of them will be our guests for tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. Those of you who did not contribute, the Zelle number is there. Sorry if we didn't take your call today. We'll talk about some of these national issues. Elections have consequences. This is just the fact of the matter. Have a good weekend. Stay out of trouble. We are still on our Facebook sabbatical, so you'll not be hearing us or seeing us writing. But we'll be on SKTV as we promised. And have a good time. We have a lot. It's enjoyment time. Let's enjoy.